those just tuning in, we are currently monitoring the undocking for the Cargo Dragon spacecraft. We currently have a 30-minute delay with a new undocking time for around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX and NASA are currently monitoring the weather in the splashdown zones before they decide officially we will be undocking today. The latest time to depart today for on time we currently have a 30-minute splashdown will be 9:25 a.m. for around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX and NASA are currently monitoring the weather in the splashdown zones
and then
before they decide
with the viz pins locked out
officially
for
we will
during
be
that no exercise constraint, which I
undocking
understand
today.
is sliding 30 minutes to the
The
right.
latest time to
And if you
depart
could,
today
so just wondering if
on
I'm
time
going
we
to start
currently
it,
have
and
a
then
splashdown
also
will be 9:25
if you could give me
a.m.
like a
for
5-minute
around 9
heads up
a.m.
so
Central
that I can
Time,
get it back in
10
the
a.m. Eastern
config
Time.
before the no exercise constraint.
SpaceX and NASA are currently monitoring the weather in the
Wondering if I'm
splashdown
okay to
zones
start ARED and then
before
if
they
it needs
decide
to be with the viz pins locked out
officially
for
we will
during
be
that no exercise constraint, which I
undocking
understand
today.
is sliding 30 minutes to the
The
right.
latest time to
And if you
depart
could,
today
so just wondering if
on
I'm
time
going
we
to start
currently
it,
have
and
a
then
splashdown
also
will be
if
9:25
you could give me
a.m.
like a
for
5-minute
around 9
heads up
a.m.
so
Central
that I can
Time,
get it back in
10
the
a.m. Eastern
config
Time.
before the no exercise constraint.
Station Huntsville on Space to Ground 2 for Hopper and Veggie.
For Hopper on 2.
Hey, Hopper, we just needed to confirm, but O3I is independent, so that's at your discretion. If you think it needs thinning, your go. Otherwise, just monitor as normal.
Okay, copy. At our discretion. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hopper.
And Station Houston on 2 for ARED. We are go for ARED. We'll give a heads up when it needs to discontinue.
Copy, thanks.
SpaceX's upgraded Cargo Dragon spacecraft was launched to the International Space Station atop a Falcon 9 rocket from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This was the first launch of SpaceX under NASA's second commercial resupply contract, CRS-21, which delivered supplies, equipment, and materials to directly support dozens of the more than 250 science and research investigations that will occur during Expedition 64 and 65. This included the delivery of the NanoRex Bishop airlock, the first commercially owned and operated airlock that will provide a variety of capabilities to the space station, such as payload hosting, robotics testing, and satellite deployment. It also will serve as an outside toolbox for crew members conducting spacewalks. Dragon's arrival at the station marked the first time two Dragon spacecraft have been docked on the orbiting laboratory at the same time. The Crew Dragon spacecraft, named Resilience, that brought the Crew 1 astronauts, has been docked since its arrival on November 16th. The Cargo Dragon spacecraft will remain attached to the remained on the space station since its arrival on December 7th. We're looking for a departure today around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's with a 30-minute delay from its original undocking time. We are looking for the spacecraft to splash down in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's going to be around 11 hours and 38 minutes from its undocking time. For those just tuning in, we are standing by for undocking of the Cargo Dragon. We currently are under a 30-minute delay and have retargeted 9 a.m. Central Time for physical separation of the Dragon vehicle and from the space station. We are currently waiting and listening in on a weather update from SpaceX and NASA for a go, no-go for departure today. The latest window for departure will be 9:25 a.m., but we are currently targeting 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time for an undocking and separation of the vehicle from the space station. We will continue to watch the weather and the splashdown sites off the coast of the Atlantic and of Florida. You currently are seeing live views of the Cargo Dragon vehicle attached to the Harmony module on the space-facing side of the port. Again, this is the second cargo vehicle, the second Dragon vehicle that is attached to the space station. This is a first for SpaceX. Crew Dragon launched in November with the Crew 1 astronauts aboard. The Cargo Dragon spacecraft brought up around 5,200 pounds of research and returned cargo splashing. We are looking for the spacecraft to return 5,200 pounds of cargo and research, and it will be a first as well, as we will receive science investigations at the Kennedy Space Center. It'll be a first since the shuttle program.
Bueno, muy buenos días para todas las personas que nos acompañan. Estamos en esta transmisión. Tenemos alguna demora por parte del comando de la misión. Estamos a la espera de lo que va a suceder a partir de algunos minutos. Se está monitoreando por parte del centro de monitoreo de la misión lo que tiene que ver con el tiempo en la zona donde se va a producir el aterrizaje. Así que a todos, muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Aquí vamos a continuar con la transmisión que está haciendo NASA en este momento en vivo y en directo.
The station and Dragon are currently flying over the South Pacific Ocean, about 264 statute miles above.
Según el control de misión, la Estación Espacial Internacional se encuentra a unos 400 kilómetros de distancia sobrevolando el Océano Índico. A partir de algunos minutos se va a proceder a la separación de la nave de la Estación Espacial Internacional.
There are currently 7 crew members aboard the station. From the left is NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, JAXA astronaut Soichi Noguchi, along with, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, JAXA astronaut Soichi Noguchi, Sergei Ryzhikov and Sergei
En este momento estamos
Kutsverkov
viendo la
all make up
tripulación
Expedition
actual de la
64.
Estación Espacial Internacional con los astronautas que llegaron en la misión Crew One y también los astronautas rusos que se encontraban ya en la Estación Espacial Internacional. Saludo
Again, we are
cordial para
standing by
Marisol Nápoles, que nos acompaña
for
desde muy
Dragon's
temprano en la transmisión.
departure or undocking, currently scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This all will be dependent on weather, and we are still evaluating. The last time to call for departure today will be 9:25 a.m.
Aquí tenemos una visión de la Estación Espacial Internacional con varias naves que se encuentran allí en este momento acopladas a la estación. Y bueno, aquí tenemos la vista de la cargo de SpaceX que está próxima a desacoplarse de la Estación Espacial Internacional. Como decía, el control de misión, todo depende del tiempo en la zona donde
Station Houston on 2
tendremos
for Ike.
el aterrizaje.
With you on 2.
Ike, we have gotten happy with the weather off Florida, and with that, in preparation for undock, I'd like you to perform step 1 of 1.602 Dragon departure monitoring.
1.602 step 1 in work.
Undock sequence start time 1455.
Sequence start time 1455. Copy.
Good copy.
Houston Station, I'll just stand down on ARED until we're past the no exercise time.
Copy.
Houston.
Gracias a todos por
Dragon undocking
acompañarnos.
departure review complete.
Leeremos
ISS
sus
crew is ready for
comentarios
departure.
en el chat.
Copy.
Y
ISS
de
crew ready
verdad
for
es un
departure.
placer estar con ustedes. Son las 9 de la mañana, 39 minutos en nuestra locación. Y estamos esperando por la luz verde para hacer el desacople de esta nave de carga de SpaceX.
And that was confirmation from the Capcom to the crew that we are currently go for departure today. And we're looking for commands to be sent for departure and undocking to be 8:55 a.m. and physical separation from the vehicle from the ISS will be 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Esa es la señal que estamos esperando. Ya hay luz verde para que se proceda a esta operación de desacople de la Estación Espacial Internacional a las 10 de la mañana. Nos quedan algunos 20 minutos para que se produzca este desacople. A todos muchas gracias por estar con nosotros en este canal. Estas son imágenes en vivo y en directo. Está produciendo NASA TV y lo que estamos a punto de ver es el desacople de esta misión de SpaceX, la nave Dragon, que va a realizar el desacople dentro de unos 19 minutos. ¿Cómo va a ser el procedimiento? Pues la nave Dragon va a disparar sus motores para moverse lentamente a una distancia segura de la Estación Espacial Internacional, saliendo del puerto en el módulo Armonía. Luego iniciará a salir de la órbita, encendiendo sus motores, e iniciará la secuencia de
We're
reingreso
currently in a
a
brief
la
handover between
atmósfera
satellites
terrestre.
right now, but we'll be regaining communications here shortly. You are currently seeing a live view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room.
Estamos viendo imágenes de la sala de control de vuelo en este momento, en vivo y en directo. Gracias a todos por acompañarnos en esta mañana, preparándonos para apreciar lo que va a ser el desacople de la Dragon Cargo. ¿Qué es lo que trae esta misión de regreso a Tierra? Pues trae más o menos unas 5.200 libras de experimentos científicos y otra carga proveniente de la Estación Espacial Internacional. Víctor Glover, el astronauta, estará monitoreando desde la Estación Espacial Internacional.
If you're just joining us, We are standing by for undocking of the departure of the SpaceX Dragon cargo vehicle, having arrived on December 7, 2020, with over 6,500 pounds of cargo. Today, you're watching the first autonomous undocking of a cargo Dragon 2 vehicle. Upon Dragon's departure today, currently scheduled for around 9 a.m. Central Time, it will depart with just over 4,500 pounds of critical science and other hardware, scheduled for a safe splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic. And we're looking for splashdown around 8:08 p.m. Central Time, 9:08 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, the command to release Dragon will originate from the flight controllers here on the ground and in Hawthorne. That command will be sent from... That command will be sent from either... It could be sent from either astronauts aboard the station or the ground team. And while the command won't come from the on-orbit crew today, NASA astronaut Victor Glover will be standing by in the cupola module and monitoring the spacecraft's departure. Today, the command to release Dragon will originate from the flight controllers here on the ground. And there are a couple milestones we'll see Dragon meet this morning. First, those departure burns. But then it will cross the keep-out sphere, an invisible line around the station with a 200-meter radius. It will keep heading away from the station and will stand by until it makes its way out of the approach ellipsoid, another invisible line that's 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 2 kilometers around the station. These invisible lines are where we have checkpoints for the vehicle on its way to and from the station. Once the command is set, there will be 2 sets of hooks from the International Space Station and Dragon that will be released, and springs from the Crew Dragon will push the vehicle away from the International Space Station.
Station Houston on 2 for Soichi. Question if you wanted to delay the start of your upcoming PMC.
After separation, the spacecraft will start to slowly drift away from the space station. Dragon has a few small departure burns to get it into the proper position away from the station for its eventual deorbit burn, currently scheduled for 7:18 p.m. Central Time. That will slow Dragon down enough to drop it out of orbit and send it towards its landing zone, splashing down in the Atlantic approximately around 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Its eventual deorbit burn, currently scheduled
Station Houston on 2 with Dragon undock pending. We are entering no exercise period. Station Houston on 2 for Dragon departure. We are no go for today due to weather.
Bueno, definitivamente no habrá reingreso en el día de hoy debido al tiempo. Acaban de comunicar desde la misión. Vamos a esperar la confirmación de control de misión en tierra. Hay que tener en cuenta que el reingreso de la cápsula y el amarizaje debe hacerse en condiciones de tiempo seguras, lo que parece que no está en este momento confirmado por parte de SpaceX y de NASA. El reingreso tomaría unas 12 horas, estaría realizándose el amarizaje sobre las 10 de la noche, entonces se debe tener mucho cuidado por parte del control de misión. Ya tuvimos una primera información de que por el día de hoy se cancela esta maniobra de desacople de la Space Cargo, de la Dragon Cargo, desde la Estación Espacial Internacional. Vamos a esperar confirmación.
As you just heard, we are waving off today due to poor weather off the coast of Daytona. SpaceX and NASA will be evaluating what would be a better time to have undocking for the spacecraft. Please watch nasa.gov for updated timelines for when Cargo Dragon will be departing.
Bien, ahí está la confirmación. En el día de hoy no se va a realizar el desacople del Dragon Cargo de la Estación Espacial Internacional. Pues les agradecemos mucho el haber permanecido con nosotros estos minutos. Lástima que se canceló por el día de
That'll wrap
hoy
up our
esta
coverage
misión.
for the undocking of Dragon today. And please watch nasa.gov for updated timelines of when Dragon will be go for undocking. This is Mission Control Houston.
Es el control de misión de Houston que se está despidiendo en este momento y nos invita a permanecer en control y en monitoreo constante de la información de la NASA para confirmar cuándo se va a realizar este desacople del Dragon Cargo desde la Estación Espacial Internacional. Todos muchas gracias. Volveremos.